Hi, and welcome to the Quick and Dirty Romance Podcast. We're your hosts, romance authors and bicoastal best friends. I'm Skye McDonald, author of the Connecticut Commodores hockey romance series and the new retro romance series Love and Mixtapes.
And I'm Sarah Smith, author of the Denver Bashers Steamy Hockey Romance series and the new college hockey romance, Cocky Mother Pucker.
Together, we write as Sarah Skye, the best-selling duo behind the Unlikely Pairing series. We write hot books about complicated feelings, emotional risk, and really good sex.
Each episode, we pull back the curtain on what it's actually like to be contemporary romance authors. We talk writing desire, building tension, navigating publishing, and exactly how those infamous sex scenes come together on the page.
It's smart, honest, a little filthy, and wrapped up in 30 minutes or less. We respect your time, and we do aim to leave you breathless.
So before we get started, please take a second to tap those stars wherever you're listening. Ratings help more romance readers find us, and trust us, we notice every single one. And now for today's tease, we're going to talk about drumroll, the steamy scenes that stay with us, that live rent-free in our heads forever.
Our Roman
Skye.
empires, if you will. Yes. As readers and
Yes.
authors, we definitely have our faves. So this is going to be quick and super dirty and super quick. And we're going to dive in and dive out on this one, but we're going to have some fun just talking about those scenes that stay with us. All right. So let's kick it off with scenes that we have read. Give some love to other authors. Scenes that we have read.
Yes. Skye, go ahead.
Oh,
What
you
is
want me to
one
start?
scene? Yes, if it's okay with you. Sorry. I mean, I can think of one, but the one I'm thinking of is pretty it's pretty salacious.
Well,
So,
so this is interesting because yeah, first of all, we should have told you to put your headphones in. Sorry. Sorry, headphones in. Um, I don't
I
know,
can
like
go first. I just don't want
oh,
to
you're
like
gonna
what I'm gonna
just start with a bang.
yeah, kind of. But I want to ease people into it. I don't want to be like, "Hey,
That's what he
blah."
said.
Yeah.
Um, oh my gosh. So many, but like I don't know, like I have to say I don't read like the smuttiest of stuff. So like I don't know. Like I'm going probably what I'm going to say is going to be real like oh like
Okay.
I think about okay, so one of my early forays into romance was Christina Lauren's beautiful series. So like that kind of dates where you are, you know where you are. But I remember in Beautiful Player, Will's like goes down on her in the kitchen, but like her parents come in and like he's behind the counter, but he's like totally face between her legs. And I remember both finding that like funny, but also really hot that like he was just ready to drop to his knees in the middle of the kitchen. Um,
Yeah.
so like yeah, that was a good like early moment for me. I was like, nicely done. Nicely done.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's hot. Like I am like first of all, can I just say yay that you picked a female oral sex
Oh yeah.
scene? That's wonderful to see. Like yay, awesome. Um Christina Lauren, obviously love
Oh
Christina
yeah.
Lauren.
All right.
Gotta shout out Christina Lauren. Okay. So that's hot, but I
Yeah.
think what the okay, so I'm thinking of two scenes right now and they're
Oh please, please
like
tell me what
okay.
you've got.
All right, okay. Okay, so there was a book that came out in October written by Chelsea Curto, and
Okay.
she's very popular, the DC Stars romance
Okay.
hockey romance series, which I love. But she wrote like a dark Halloween romance for last fall called In the Dark.
Hmm.
And I'm not like a big I admittedly, I'm not like a big dark romance person, but hers was more of like a dark rom-com, I would say. The male main character, he's a serial killer, but he kills only people who deserve it. So he's not killing innocent people, like he kills bad people, which I
Okay.
am like, yeah, no, this is amazing. This is like, obviously, I think killing is wrong, of course, but like
Of
in the
course.
context, of course, but in the context of a fiction, I have no problem with the hero unaliving horrible people. Like, and I won't say I like I don't want to set off like a censor or some sort of
Sure,
opinion,
sure, sure.
but the people he he's killing are like bad people, like
Okay.
people who do unmentionable things to like children, like that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So like,
okay.
right. So that's what we're talking about here. So it's not like he's murdering the guy who cut him off in traffic, like he's murdering like bad people. And he also works as like a masked scary person at like a haunted house during
Wow.
Halloween.
Okay, there's a lot
And
going on.
yeah, there's a lot going on. And the female main character, she's a she's like an elementary school teacher, so she's really sweet. But she has like these dark fantasies of like things that she wants in a partner, which is
Okay.
hot. I love it. It's so cute because it's like bad boy, good girl to the extreme, but like in a really
Hmm.
healthy way. So anyway, they're at his house. He owns a house with his roommate who knows everything about him. They're best friends. And so the male main character and the female main character are together being intimate in his bedroom. And his roommate opens the door to ask, like, "Hey, I'm making grilled cheese. You guys want some?" Like he like completely like typical roommate, like being intrusive by being an idiot. But he like walks in on them mid-sex and like the male main character is like, dude, what the F? Like, shut the door. Like, we're clearly not, we don't want grilled cheese. We're busy. And he notices that the female main character is like, he thinks that she's gonna be like really embarrassed and like freaked out, but she's like kind of like into like his friend seeing them be intimate. So
Mm,
he picks up on that and he's like, hey, you don't seem upset about this. Like, how are you feeling? And they talk through the moment. She's really turned on by being watched, which is something that she's never done with anyone before.
hmm.
But so he's like, okay, like, do you want him to stay? Do you want him to watch us? She's like, yeah, I think I do. So the friend roommate is invited to sit, watch
Okay.
for a little bit, and then later on, she gets more turned on and she wants him to participate.
Participate. Hmm.
So they share her for a while. Like I don't think the best friend like ever penetrates her with his penis. I
Okay.
think he goes down on her while like her boyfriend is kissing her. Like that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Which is yeah, that's like but like that's not
Nice.
something that I normally yeah. I don't normally read scenes like that in the romances that I like to read. The romances that I like to read are just between two characters and they're
Yeah.
being intimate, like no joining. But like, I don't know, I thought like this was pretty like it was just the right amount of like rom-com silliness, but also like super hot, but also like being respectful to people's boundaries and consent
Yeah.
and indulging in fantasies, but in a safe way, not like in a gross,
Yeah,
way
yeah, yeah.
where her boundaries are being violated and it turns into something horrible. Like nothing like that. It was 100% about her and what made her feel safe, but they also like respected his friend who was kind of like the third wheel.
Nice.
It was great. I loved it.
Fun.
Yeah, it was
Love
great.
it. Love it.
Really fun,
Love it.
right?
Yeah.
After that 20-minute explanation, Skye, what's another one that you have?
The other one that came to my mind was Dreamweaver by her name is Gigi Gleason. And
Mm.
the it's a short novel, but like the whole book is fun because the setup of it is like the female main character is like this very efficient, very like quiet and reserved secretary. It's an office work romance and like but she's got it bad for her boss and she writes the smuttiest smut. And so you're getting like narratives of it's like reading a romance novel inside of a romance novel because like she's writing in this journal like these like filthy sub she had like a sub kink so like she's written all these things where her boss is like her dom and it's like incredibly hot but like then you're also playing out this story where she's just like this button up person but then of course the boss finds the book and antics ensue but like so it goes from being what I loved about it is one, it's super steamy and very explicit, and there's a lot of like making her submit, which like is very hot, and but like also then he plays that out for her. So like, but it's also like with consent and like he knows that this is what she wants, so like it's all done in like this safe environment, but it is super steamy, both like in the way that you're reading this narrative inside of the narrative, but also like when they actually get to the antics, it's like he's playing out her fantasies for her. And so I loved it. I loved everything about it. The book was like a very, very fun read to read, like all the way through. So yes, I enjoyed that one too.
That's so fun. I love
Yeah.
that. That's like kind of like forbidden almost, but like she's
Yeah.
indulging
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
like the fantasy of her thoughts,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's definitely about like, yeah, that like the indulgement. Yeah. I really liked it.
yeah.
All right. You got another one from
Okay,
somebody else?
I do. I have another one. And this one's like
Please.
filthy.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Okay. And I'm pretty sure some of you listening have heard of Kristen Granata. So she wrote a book called Odd Man Rush, which is like a hockey
Yeah.
romance, but it's like a polyamorous
Okay.
couple hockey romance. And okay, so like the premise is it's this guy and then his girlfriend and then her best friend who's a woman. And
Hmm.
they went to high school together. They've always had like a really close relationship. And like they kind of like they drifted apart, broken up over the years, but then they finally like reconnect. Um, the hockey player and the girlfriend, they eventually get married together, but they realize that they both have feelings for her best friend, like romantic feelings, but they're kind of like navigating like, okay, well, like to have a relationship with three people isn't normal and like we have to keep this between us initially because like we don't want other people's judgment. And like one of them comes from a pretty like conservative, like religious family who would not be okay with like their daughter
Hmm.
being in a throuple essentially.
Hmm.
So anyway, so like there's this night where like they're kind of confronting their like the night where they're first all physically intimate together. Oh my God, it's so hot. Like they just sorry. And then, again, like I don't normally read
Apparently
like
you do.
but I don't, but like I right because I just wanted to bring some like something different, something
Yeah, yeah,
super
yeah.
hot to this podcast episode instead of just two people, like why not three? But like but so like they're kind of like they've been battling their attraction for each other for so long and they finally just like give in one night. And so like it starts with like the best friends, they're into like the two are intimate together um and then her husband like comes into it and he's not doing anything with the best friend yet until he does stuff with the wife first. So like her best friend's going down on her while like her husband's fucking her throat. Sorry,
Hmm.
sorry.
Hmm.
Please have headphones in, you guys. Like this isn't good. There's no way that I can explain
I'll
this.
add
That's
it to
gonna
the
be
show
like,
notes.
yeah. Okay. So like that's really hot. And then like when they finish doing that, like the best friend is still kind of like I, like this is physically this is amazing, but like how are we gonna make this work? And they're just like, no, we're just gonna go with it tonight. Like just do what makes us feel good. So then the best friend, she gets to be the focus of the husband and the wife. They like focus on like they both go down on her at the same time. And then like her friend finishes going down on her while her husband bucks her from behind. And it's just like it's super carnal and like dirty,
Hmm.
but it's also like emotional because like they're finally giving into like their feelings for each other that they've been like denying for so long.
Hmm.
And it's just so good. Like that, I think about that, like, oh my God, that was crazy, but it was like amazing, like how the writer like described it because it was like dirty, but also like really almost like sensitive because she's
Hmm.
dealing with all of the feelings, like in this scene. So anyway, so that's
Lovely.
my other one. Yeah.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
done. Love that. All right, so bringing it closer to home, let's talk about a couple of our own sex, like scenes that you have written that live rent free in your mind, specifically sexy scenes. We're staying on sexy today. So, across your catalog, scenes that stand out to you.
Okay, so yes. So I wrote a book called So Pucking Good. It's the last book in my Denver Bashers hockey romance series. And
Uh-huh.
it's a marriage of convenience romance between two, like so they're best friends. They were best
Ah.
friends when they were kids, but they like somebody moved away and so they got estranged, but then they got back into each other's lives by total accident. And she has a lot of health issues, and is in a lot of like medical debt, unfortunately. And he's this like very wealthy hockey player. And he's like, well, listen, marry me. You can get my health insurance. We can get your health back on track. And then like after a year, we'll divorce and then do whatever, but we'll still be friends because I'm your best friend and I hate seeing you in pain and I want to help. They both have secret crushes on each other, obviously.
Obviously.
But right, but they don't know that at first. So eventually, as they're married, it comes out she confides in him like she's a virgin and she's tried to have sex before with her ex, but he wasn't a jerk about it. So she's just never been able to have sex in a pleasant way ever. And so her husband, who is like typical like hockey bad boy man whore, like
Mhm.
has had lots of sex and is amazing in bed, obviously. He's like,
Obviously.
okay, well, like, I'm sorry that happened. And she's like, will you teach me to have sex?
Ah.
Like, because when we get divorced, I want to get married for real someday, and I don't want to be with my husband and not know what to do. And he's like, okay. So there's really so like, and I've always wanted to write like a virgin trope, but it just never like clicked for me. But for some reason, for that book, like I knew exactly like they're gonna be best friends when they were kids. He's like a freaking man whore. She's a virgin, doesn't know anything, and he's gonna teach her. So their first like full on we're going to fool around and do sexual things scene is something that I think about a lot because it was so much fun to write. Because even though like that's his in real life can be very awkward, the first time you have sex is so funny.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was still a little awkward, but like it's handled with like love and care because they're best friends and he loves her. Like he's like secretly in love with her and he's always had feelings for her. So
Hmm.
he goes out of his way to make it good for her. So he doesn't just like shove his dick in her, obviously, because he's not a piece of garbage. Like he makes it all about her. He takes it very slow. He tells her, like, okay, we're gonna try things. I'm gonna touch you with my hand. Now I'm gonna do stuff with my mouth. Like, and I want you to tell me like does this feel good? And you're not going to hurt my feelings. Like you tell me every single thing that feels good and I'll keep doing it. And she like kind of just learns what she likes with his help. And it goes amazingly, obviously.
Obviously.
Right. And he teaches like he helps her like with toys and with helping her get more comfortable like masturbating to figure out what she likes. So just but that's like later on, obviously. But this their first intimate scene together, I think is just like really cute and sweet, even though they're doing like something kind of dirty, like he's like going down on her and using his hands on her. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think that I just there's just something sweet about that, I think, that I think about a lot. I'm like, I think I did a good job with that.
Love it. Love that.
Yeah. How about you? What is
Well,
a sex scene that you have written that lives rent free in your head?
I mean, a lot of them, like, I guess,
Yeah.
but I was thinking about well, I was actually thinking about my fifth book too, but or my last book in my series, but I was actually thinking now about Deked, the fourth book in my hockey series, and it's fake dating without actually being fake dating. So like she's his matchmaker, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
fake dating her sister, and she's older.
Mhm.
Not like she's like 5 years older than he is, but she's also a divorcee. So like I think about so she wants him really bad, but she's like sworn off dating, and so is he, and so they're both like I'm not about that, but they're like can't resist each other, the whole thing. But like she's so reserved because she's just like she thinks of herself as being like this huge hypocrite because she runs a matchmaking company, but her marriage quote unquote failed. And so when they finally get together, and they finally are like they're making out, and like the first night they get together he comes to he comes to her mom's house because she's there. And so like they're making out and he's touching her like in the hallway, like they're just like right inside the door, couldn't wait any longer, like things are getting steamy, and he fingers her and she tells him, she's like, I can't come this way. And like he does not care at all, like he's like, I'm just going to keep touching you, you can tell me when to stop. And so he does, like, until she doesn't come because she said she couldn't. Um, and then they go like into her childhood bedroom, and there's like this whole thing where she's like, you can see my doll collection. He's like, that's fucking creepy. And but then they're like in there and he's just kind of wandering around and he's like, get on your knees and take off your clothes and get on your knees. So like he switches from being kind of like the younger, like laid back dude into what she needed, which was somebody to take the upper hand. And then he makes her come for him by using her vibrator and he just watches. Like he's not attending to himself at all. And then like at the end of it, like she wants to give him oral, she wants to make him come, but like he was just all about her and like what she wanted and what she needed in order to do that. And and then later when they're having like their first full on penetration scene, because I tend to do that where it's like something happens or they get somewhere and then you save the like full bang for later. And then she also freely tells him that she likes to use toys. So like she has like a bag of toys and she has a butt plug and they start to use it and he's like really into everything that she wants to do. So he's like, I've never used these before, but I'm totally going to do it. It's not hard to learn. So like just being able to represent like a woman who like knows both her body and like also her pleasure, but also making it like really, really hot at the same time. Similar to what you were saying, I was really because like in Not Suitable for Work, which is my debut, like she comes like that, like all the time.
Mhm.
Bang, 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 like boom, right? Because like earlier in books, like that was kind of what you would see. It's just like it wasn't hard for her to come. So like having Danny express like this is what works for me, this doesn't what isn't what works for me, and this is what I really really like, aka like her butt plugs, like she loves that. And she's not ashamed to say that and she's not ashamed to use them, and he's not intimidated by toys, which I know like can actually be a thing for like people's partners. They're like, no, I don't want to use toys, and he's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna use these toys, this is hot. So like the fact that he's all into it because he's like all into her because she knows what she wants. That was like that made that one extra hot for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds super hot. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You have another one? You want to do a second of your own?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so
Go.
like I have one. My book Desperate Pucker from my
Hmm.
Denver Bashers hockey romance series. So the two characters, Riker and Maddie, hate each other.
Mm.
But so Riker he's like the quintessential like oldest player on the team, gets injured all the time.
Okay.
Um, and she's the team owner's daughter. She has a really bad relationship with her dad for reasons that you read the book and you'll understand
Read the
because I
book.
don't want to get into it. Yeah, but she works she's a former figure skater and she works as a skating coach for the team. And he is coming off of Riker, the guy, he's coming off of a pretty bad injury, so he needs like a lot of like rehab and help with his skating, and she's gonna help him do that. And they just hate each other because he's like a grumpy jerk, just because of all that he's had to like deal with in his career. And he thinks that she's like a spoiled brat, obviously, because her dad is like the
Hmm.
billionaire owner of the team, and he's like,
Hmm.
I take you seriously. So anyway, they hate each other, but they have to work together. They're stuck in an elevator one time. They're trying to go to like an office in the arena or something, and the elevator stalls, and she's claustrophobic. So they're in the middle of an argument, and she starts freaking out because she's claustrophobic. And he's like, whoa, what is happening? Like he's just thrown off. Like they're not mad at each other anymore. He's like, oh my God, this is bad.
Hmm.
And she's like, I'm claustrophobic. I have to leave. I can't be in here. I'm gonna freak out. And so he's calling the emergency button. He's like, hey, there's somebody in here. Like, she needs help. Can you come get us? And like, dude, we're trying as hard as we can. We'll get you when we get to you. So she's just like panicking. She's crying. She's having like a full-on breakdown. And he feels bad for her. Cause like, yeah, he doesn't like her, but he doesn't want her to have like
Yeah.
a mental breakdown. And he's like, okay, what helps when you're stuck in a small confined space? What helps? And she's like, leaving. He's like, you can't leave. Like something else. Think of something else. She's like, a distraction, any kind of distraction. He's like, okay. And he kisses her to distract her, and it works. She's like, whoa, what the fuck? But then they're like, they realize like, holy shit, this is a really hot kiss. And so it leads to him like trying to distract her more by fingering her to have an orgasm in the middle
Hmm.
of the elevator. to help her not have a panic attack breakdown. And it's very confusing because like, oh my God, this is so hot. I hate her though. And she's like, oh my God, this is so hot. I hate him. What is happening? So obviously, like, that was really fun to write. I thought that was really fun. Like, I knew I wanted them to have like a hate hookup. Like,
Hmm.
I hate you too. But yeah, I'm gonna need another orgasm. So like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah. So that was really fun. That was really fun.
Nice.
What about you?
That's fun.
What's another one for you?
Oof. Um, God, so many, so many. It's tough. It's
Yeah,
tough.
it is so
Um,
hard.
yeah, it is. That's definitely what she said. I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose in the crease. In the crease is my nerdy backup goalie. So, the way this goes down is like this is opposite attract for sure because she is she's a loudmouth social media influencer who's like the number one fangirl of the main goalie. And so
Mm.
Ryan Malloy is our backup goalie, and he's a nerd. He like keeps spreadsheets on the team, and he has like a Yoda in his locker. Okay, he wears glasses. Obviously not when he's playing because that doesn't work. Um, but he's also like super hot, and there's like a whole scene that I did that was based on like the TikTok guy doing push-ups, where he's like doing push-ups to music as like a media stunt, and she's like she like sits on his back and he like pushes her, like all
Oh,
that stuff. But like they have this super opposites attract, but they're also like forced into proximity together because she ends up doing like an interview with him, like a big feature. It's like a whole thing. But the way that they met was they were about to have a hookup. And like he's ordering like their meet cute is super fun because he's ordering like sex drinks at a bar because he lost a bet, and she's like, and they almost have sex like that night, but then she ends up leaving, and I'll let you read it to figure out why. But when they finally get together, finally, after many like near misses, she's super self-conscious. I don't know, I like the stories where like the woman has to like come out of her shell. But she's super self-conscious. She's wearing like she hasn't shaved, she's wearing like butterfly underwear, and like she's just like not ready for this, and she just feels
yeah.
kind of really exposed, and he just entirely takes her out of it. So like one thing that I do, and several of my hockey players do this, but he like lifts her and he basically like he lifts her like, oh, and that's another thing in Scoreless, he lifts her on his shoulders and eats her out. So like that I also
Oh
really
yeah.
hot. Yeah, really fun. Because like hockey players can do all kinds of things like that. But this one he takes her into his closet, which is like a massive walk-in. And it's got like a mirror, and so he makes her look at herself and he's like, tell me you're not, absolutely stunning. And she's like, she gets it really into it. So she like watches herself while he like lays, like, he's like, I want you to ride my face as long as you want to. And so like she watches herself come by like straddling his face. And then I think she says something like she like wants to watch while he like feeds her his dick. So like the whole thing is like playing out in this mirror where she's like really, really turned on by the fact that she's watching herself be this like absolute romance heroine, which is like underneath all her like loudmouth influencer stuff. Like that's not her vibe at all, and she doesn't think she deserves any of this. So like it's really cool because it's like a voyeuristic thing, and like so we're like seeing her watch her mirror self like do all these things, like get all of this pleasure. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed that one. Like the like it was very, very sexy, but also like really empowering and like letting her kind of step into herself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super hot. And can I just say we love a book boyfriend who is all about like showing his lady how beautiful he finds her and how beautiful she is, like just to build her up. We love a book
Oh yeah.
boyfriend who builds her up.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Builds her up, makes her feel like absolutely perfect. No, no questions, no questions whatsoever. And I will say, this has been most excellent for me, Sarah. Was it good for you?
Hell yeah.
Good. Let us know in the comments, do you read the steamy bits in detail or do you skim them? Has this been fun for you? Please do let us know. And then drop us a rec in the show's comments or find us on social media. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I am at author Skye McDonald.
And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I am at author Sarah S.
And if this episode made you laugh, smile, fan your face, or just go, that's interesting, take a moment to rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening. And definitely check out our books. I'll also try to add some links to the books that we've referenced too, but leaving that review definitely helps other romance lovers find us.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Read what feels good.
It feels good.
Yeah.